What's up, guys? So today we are going to learn about not being afraid to ask. So one of the biggest things about making your videos is not being afraid to ask to do certain things. One of the biggest things you can't be afraid of is to ask somebody if you can film or shoot some photos. Now let's get into it. So one of the biggest things is when you're a filmmaker, photographer, you go all these places and you might find somewhere that you want to shoot photos or video of to post on Instagram, post on Facebook, but you might be too afraid to go in and ask if you can do it because it may be a really high-end classy place or somewhere that you just think, well, it's gonna say no, or you may just have all these opinions about, what you're shooting. But the biggest thing is to just go and ask, because realistically the worst thing that can happen is they say no. And well, I guess there's other bad things that could happen, but it's very unlikely. But the worst thing that can happen is they say no to you, which, big deal, you walk away, you go somewhere else, you ask again. If you're not afraid to ask, you can get videos like this. One of the biggest examples of this is I recently was in California and it was an amazing place, and we went to Beverly Hills, which, I'm just your average, middle-class guy. I'm not, millionaire or anything. We were walking around Beverly Hills. We went to these places like Lamborghini, Ferrari, all these really expensive car dealerships. We went inside Coach and all these really fancy and expensive clothing shops and purse shops, which, are actually really awesome. They even had like waterfalls in them, which was like, anyway. So we went to Ferrari, we got in there, we said, hey, look, we're just photographers, videographers, and we obviously can't afford these cars, but do you mind if we walk around, take a look at them, maybe take some pictures? And they said, yeah, sure, go ahead. The place that we were at was really condensed. There was a lot of cars next to each other and it just wasn't the most scenic place. So we ended up taking like 3-4 pictures and we left because the pictures weren't that great, and we didn't want to bother them any longer than we were because they didn't seem too happy that we were there. But the receptionist was super nice. So then we moved on to other places. We went to Lamborghini, we went to a Bugatti place, a Pagani place. We asked them if we could take pictures and photos. They were more than glad to let us take pictures and photos. However, we couldn't post them online because of the owner of some of the cars wouldn't allow it online and all that mumbo jumbo, which was fine. We ended up not taking any pictures because of that reason. But then the last place we ended up was Mclaren, which was one places I thought wasn't going to allow us to even come inside, and I was kind of nervous to go inside. But we ended up going inside and the receptionist was the most incredible person I have ever met in my life. We straight up said, we can't afford these cars, but they are awesome and we want to take some pictures and videos. So she let us in and we walked around, she actually showed us the cars and talked about them and gave us the statistics and prices and all that fun stuff, even though we weren't going to buy a car. And it was really cool because we asked her if we could take some photos and videos and she was completely open to it and thought it was awesome. Gave me a card with some information on it, like an email, Instagram, Facebook, to tag them in. All they asked was if we do post videos or photos to tag them in it, possibly give them the photos to use for themselves. I said that's okay as long as I'm credited in the photos, which is big, because just giving somebody your photos is one thing, but having them tag you in it is another. When they take your photos and just post them online as their own, it kind of defeats the purpose of you taking the photos. So I asked, hey look, as long as you tag me in these photos, that's completely fine. We ended up taking a lot of pictures, a lot of videos of these cars. It was really fun. They even owned like a couple other dealerships that we took some pictures of cars and stuff, like Ferraris. And one of the coolest things was that she actually allowed us to look at a car. And by that I mean she got the keys, opened it up, unlocked it, even helped me film a little video for it, which is huge. So one of the main things is to just not be afraid to ask, because things can happen that are pretty awesome. So one of the coolest things about being able to go in there and just ask and them saying yes was they actually asked and helped me to make a video for one of the cars they had there. It was really fun. They actually helped me make it by unlocking it at a certain time, making the lights glow up, opening the doors, letting me inside. It was pretty awesome. So that was one of the coolest things, and they were extremely helpful and let us take pictures and videos of all these cars. And you know, I put that video up, I let them see it, they enjoyed it, tagged them in it, which is another thing, which is going to be its own video, but it helps you gain exposure, which is huge. So let's just say, for example, I post that McLaren video and it gets a ton of views, and then other car companies see it and enjoy it and contact me and say, hey, we saw your work, we want you to do some work for us. Like, just things like that can happen. Maybe even McLaren will ask me to come back and do more pictures and videos of the cars that they had because they enjoyed my video so much. Now, none of this has happened yet, but I just posted the video 2 days ago, so who knows what could happen. And part of the video I will make talks about how you can't just post it in one place and then expect to get exposure and clients coming to ask you for work. So I will explain that in another video. I'll put the link in the description for whenever I get that up. And this topic doesn't have to apply to just cars. Like, you don't have to go to California or a car dealership that's expensive and be like, hey, I want to film your cars. You can go to literally anywhere. Like I said, we were in the fashion district in Beverly Hills where they had all the expensive purses, all the expensive clothing. Like, one shirt costs like $600. And I was like, all right, we gotta go. This is, I mean, you kind of feel out of place at that point when you're in somewhere that, you know, a shirt costs $600 and your camera costs almost as much as a jacket there. It's, you know, time to go. But it could apply to, you know, I did cars, it could apply to clothing, it could apply to purses, it could apply to literally anything. It doesn't even have to be expensive. It's all about having the confidence and not being afraid to be told no, because people are going to tell you no. And we did have people tell us no. We went to the Audi dealership in Beverly Hills and they weren't too happy about us being there. So we kind of just left because it's just Audi. And when you're around McLaren and Lamborghini and Bugatti, don't be afraid to ask. If you're not afraid to ask, great things can come about it. You might ask that one really awesome person who actually has connections for you. So I mean, it's just endless limitations for what you can do if you just ask. Literally just asking. So if you like this content, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell icon as well so you'll be notified every time I upload a video, hopefully every 1 to 2 weeks. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe with any comments or questions or video ideas you would want to see. And I will see you on the next one.